Good evening. I'm representing the Carroll County chapter of Healthcare as a Human Right, Maryland. How many of you all know someone who has struggled with the challenges of healthcare and the cost of healthcare, either the cost of medicine, the cost of co-pays, the cost of having to provide insurance for your employees? It's a big, big problem. I notice a lot of hands going up. It's a huge problem that healthcare as a human right is trying to solve. So we are a grassroots movement to establish publicly funded, statewide, universal healthcare for every person in Maryland from birth until death. We're guided by these human rights principles that healthcare should be universal, equitably distributed, it should be a transparent process, a participatory process, and more importantly, that healthcare should be seen as a public good, like our roads, like our schools, and it should be funded publicly. We believe everyone should have access to health care without having to pay what you don't have, without losing everything you do have, losing your house, without co-pays or insurance hassles, without businesses having to bear the burden of health care. If you're sick, you should be treated, period. A lot of people say that sounds good, but it's never going to happen. But in fact, it's already happened. It's happened in Vermont. They have passed a bill establishing universal health care in their state that is publicly funded, and it's set to go to be implemented in the year 2017. In fact, in the state of Maryland even, we've already started this process. The Maryland Health Security Act was previously introduced to the Maryland State Legislature as a publicly funded system. It's been proven to be feasible, less expensive than the current system we have, but there's been no public discussion and no public pressure until now. If we in Maryland establish a publicly funded system, we could save over $10 billion with a B dollars alone just in overhead costs and what we would save being able to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies. A lot of people say, well, if it's publicly funded, it's still going to be too expensive. The fact is that the current insurance-based system is completely unsustainable at this point. We have the costs have skyrocketed out of control, and we spend much more than comparable peer countries in healthcare. If you look, the United States spends double or more than double than comparative countries. We spend, right now, we spend close to $8,000 a year per person in healthcare, and the problem is that we spend more, but we have much poorer results. The United States spends the most, but we have the lowest life expectancy. We have the highest, one of the highest infant mortality rates of peer countries, and we actually have higher infant mortality rates than many developing countries. So we spend a lot, have much poorer results. If we look at medical bankruptcy, 15,000 medical bankruptcies in Maryland each year. Over 60% of all bankruptcies are actually caused by medical bills and illness. And of those people who went bankrupt, 2/3 of those had health insurance. If you think it's bad for those with insurance, think about those who are uninsured. About 14% of Maryland's population is uninsured, 800 preventable deaths annually, and the Affordable Care Act won't fix that. It'll still leave almost 400,000 people uninsured, and that doesn't include the cost of pharmaceuticals and the increasing cost of insurance. A publicly funded healthcare system puts people first. Everyone gets care when needed. It saves money. It saves billions with the B dollars for both the state, and if it was implemented nationwide, it would save billions for the nation. In addition, a publicly funded system actually increases the freedom that we have. It increases our freedom to choose our doctor, to choose our, what care we need without having the insurance companies get in the middle of that. We don't have to worry about going bankrupt, and we can actually see a doctor before we get super sick. A lot of people think, well, that's socialized medicine. They get scared by that idea, but a single-payer, publicly funded system is not socialized medicine. It's just that it's a publicly funded system that is privately provided. So, a publicly funded system that's rooted in these human rights principles of universality, equity, accountability, transparency, and participation actually puts people first, not profits, assures quality health care for everyone at a sustainable cost. The only thing, though, is that we need to let our state representatives know this is what we want, that we want people to have health care. So it won't happen without your voice and others like you to make our representatives listen to what most of us want and need. Nobody wants to go broke just because they get sick. Everyone wants care. So let's make it happen if you believe everybody should have health care when they need it without having to worry about bills, without having to worry about hassle. This is something that is doable. We can do it. Come to our monthly meetings. Share this information with with people to let them know that this is going on, that there is a movement to make healthcare affordable, not even affordable, to make healthcare available to everyone. And for more information, please see me after. I can hand you this information because you can't copy it down here in the dark. Please see me after. I'm happy to share more information with you and more information about what we're doing. Thank you.